Welcome everyone, happy Thursday. Thank you all for taking the time to join today's webinar. It is top of the hour, so I do want to be respectful of your time, so we'll go ahead and get started. I'm Reneika Lightbourne with Advanta IRA. I'm really excited to welcome back Mr. Rashad Jones-Jennings of Post Pro Capital. He's a developer for the 7th largest micro home community in the country. Thank you so much, Rashad, for being our featured speaker today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Again, I had a great time last time, and hopefully we educate you all on the tiny home process this time around as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I like Rashad mentioned, he's going to talk about, tiny homes, the niche market, the offering for big potential in terms of higher returns, highlighting some of the major shift in real estate specific to minimalistic, style, lifestyle, the trends, cost effectiveness of just tiny homes in general. But before I turn it over to Rashad, I do want to kind of give you a summary and overview of what self-direction is, how it works. If you have questions, definitely feel free to put those in the question box. We'll get those answered as we go, but also allocate some time at the end if additional questions is there. Again, my name is Reneika Lightbourne. I'm one of the business development specialists here at Advanta. I've been with Advanta, July will make 5 years now, so time definitely has flown by. In addition to being an employee of Advanta, I'm also an Advanta IRA client prior to joining staff. So self-direction is something that I advocate, wholeheartedly, both personally and professionally. If after today's webinar, if you have, additional questions or you want to talk through your exact scenario, I'm happy to schedule a consultation with you. Feel free to give me a call, or you can certainly send me an email, or I would encourage you to visit our website, advantaira.com. It's an excellent information of resource for you. So just a little housekeeping before we get started. At Advanta IRA, we don't give any tax, legal, or investment advice. All of the information that's going to be presented today is just, is for educational purposes. So as always, we encourage you to consult with your professional team, talk with your attorneys, your CPAs, your financial advisors before making any investments. Just 3 key takeaways if this is a new concept for you. It's okay. I want you to remember that any IRA or former employer plan, whether it's an old 401k or a TSP type plan, qualifies to be self-directed. When it comes to self-directing your retirement account, you're in control, meaning nothing happens until you say it does. You choose the investment that works best for you. So if that's, tiny homes related, absolutely you can do that for investment purposes. And then of course, all of the income that's generated from that investment flows back into your retirement account. If there's any expenses related with that investment, it's paid out of the retirement account. Just a little history about Advanta and who we are. We are the nation's leading self-directed IRA administrator. We've been in the business for 20+ years now. While we don't give you tax, legal, or investment advice, our team is comprised of attorneys and certified IRA service professionals. We do have a little over 12,000+ clients, $2.7 billion under our administration. Our headquarters is in Largo, Florida, but we do have an office in Atlanta, which is where I'm based. We work with clients nationwide. One of the things that we take great pride in is providing our clients that concierge style service, where they do have a dedicated account manager, a direct point of contact that's with them for the life of their investment. And then of course, the opportunity to, knowledge share, providing you practitioners and experts such as Rashad to come in and talk about different investment opportunities within a self-directed IRA. I would encourage you again to visit our website, check out our events page for upcoming networking events, webinars, guest speakers. This webinar is recorded. It will be on our YouTube channel and also a video library, typically within 24 to 48 hours. I would also encourage you to check out our blog. It's a great resource. I would encourage you to listen and tune into our podcast that my colleague Alex Perney hosts. So again, everything related to self-direction, Advanta IRA is your provider for that. So exactly what is the self-directed IRA? Very simply, a self-directed IRA just means that you as the account owner, you're going to have complete control over your retirement funds. You're going to have complete control over the investment decisions. You really get to use those qualified funds to diversify outside of the traditional stocks and bonds. A lot of our clients use IRA funds to invest in real estate, whether it's tiny homes that we're going to focus on today, or single family or multifamily. It's essentially a long list of things that you can do, which includes, notes and mortgages, tax liens, precious metals, oil and gas. Again, they're limitless in terms of what you can invest in your IRA. A common question that typically comes up is, why do people choose to self-direct? There's many different reasons why you might personally choose to self-direct, but I'm just going to touch on 3 of the most common reasons. 1, it's a new source of capital for you. So if you have, funds that are sitting idle in an old 401k or an existing IRA, instead of taking out a personal loan or tapping into your rainy day fund, you can elect to put those qualified IRA funds to work to make your next investment. 2, the ups and downs in the stock market. Obviously, no one can really time or predict exactly what's going to happen, but we know with self-direction, with real estate, it's a tangible asset. People are always going to need a place to live. It always retains value. So again, a lot of our clients prefer to invest in real estate. And then, of course, the tax benefits, having those rents, those profits, those dividends flow back into your retirement account, tax-free or tax-deferred, depending on the type of account that you have. In terms of the different types of accounts that can be self-directed, it's the ones that you're already familiar with. For individuals, you have traditional IRA, meaning pre-tax. You have not yet paid the taxes. You've gotten the deduction up front. You'll pay taxes, when you take the funds out during retirement. Whereas with a Roth IRA, these are post-tax, after-tax dollars. You've elected to pay the taxes up front, grow that account over time. As long as you've had that Roth account for at least 5 years and you're 59 and a half, which is the retirement age per the IRS, those distributions from that Roth IRA is tax-free. If you are self-employed or you have a side business or you're an entrepreneur, you can certainly look to self-direct a SEP, simple or solo 401k. A lot of real estate investors specifically like the solo 401k. So if you're eligible for that, I'm happy to talk more in detail during a consultation with you. Some lesser known accounts that are just as important in terms of self-direction, in terms of the opportunity available, is educational savings accounts. So if you have kids, grandkids, you can certainly look to self-direct those smaller accounts to help towards those expenses. And then, of course, we know the cost of medical care is increasing every year. If you have a high deductible plan, again, check with your plan provider, but if you have a high deductible plan, you can certainly look to self-direct your HSA. And again, any former employer plan, whether it's an old 401k, old 403b, TSP, 457, or any pension type plan, you can look to self-direct those funds. There are a couple of ways you can fund your account. So you have the option to, if you have an existing IRA, let's just say you have an IRA at a brokerage firm like the Fidelity or the Charles Schwab, you can elect to move as much or as little as you want to or need to make your investment. If you have an old employer plan, like an old 401k, you can certainly move as much as you want to or need to. In a 401k scenario or an old employer plan, you would actually initiate that request, letting them know you want to move it over into another qualified retirement account. We'll be able to guide you through the steps in the process for that. The other way you can fund your account is by making annual cash contributions. So if you're eligible, meaning if you have earned income, you can make a contribution. For 2023, if you have not yet made your contribution, you still have some time. You have up until the tax filing deadline, which is April 15th. If you file an extension, then you possibly have up until October 15th to make that contribution for 2023. But for 2024, we did see an increase in your contribution limits for traditional IRAs, traditional Roth IRAs. If you're under the age of 50, you can contribute $7,000. If you're over the age of 50, you have that additional $1,000 where you can put in up to $8,000 into your traditional or your Roth, not each, but more so total. For a SEP IRA, these are employer plans. You can contribute up to 25% of your earned income, not to exceed $69,000. Same thing with a solo 401k. You have that higher contribution limit where you get to contribute as an employee and then match as the employer. When you combine the two, you have the option to contribute up to $69,000 if you're under the age of 50. And then, of course, for ESAs, you can put in $2,000 per year per child. Again, this is to cover educational-related expenses. If you have a high deductible plan as a single or individual, you can put in $4,150. If you have a family HSA plan, you can put in $8,300. If you're 55 or older with an HSA, you have an additional $1,000 that you can put in. So again, you have the ability to fund your account by making annual cash contribution. The process at Advanta is pretty straightforward. Once you're ready to get started, we kind of streamline that for you. You have the option to fill out the application online with us. You can do that, via DocuSign. You can do it on our website. But step one is filling out the appropriate paperwork. We get your account open typically within 24 to 48 business hours. And then, of course, step two is the funding process. Hey, are you going to be moving funds from an existing IRA or doing a direct rollover from an old employer plan, or making a cash contribution? And then finally, step three is start investing. What is it that you have an interest in? Is it, tiny homes related that, Rashad's going to talk about in a little bit? So again, the process is pretty straightforward for you. And with that, I'll go ahead and make Rashad our presenter. Just bear with me one moment.
Thanks for having me. It's great to present again for Advanta IRA. We had a great turnout last time, and it's good to be back. A lot has happened since the last presentation. We've made a lot of headway with the development and everything, and I'll go through this PDF and kind of educate everyone. And the way I like to do it is, as questions come in, I'm ready to answer. That kind of helps with my flow and help get me through this PDF. So I'll go through this one, and I'll also show you a comparison chart of different investment vehicles compared to this one. And I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. So a little bit about me. My name is Rashad Jones-Jennings. I'm a retired professional basketball player. I played 8 years professional. I retired in 2015 due to injury. And let me see. I retired due to injury in 2015, and I got right into real estate. I started out as a realtor. I worked my way up to being a broker, start flipping, start building single houses. And once I started building these single infill houses, I had an epiphany that I could do a community of these. And what led me to tiny homes was everyone was getting priced out in Atlanta. As a realtor, back in the day in 2015, when you get a pre-approval for $250,000, that was like money in the bank. All we had to do was find a house. But the times had changed. Those $250,000 approvals, it got a little bit more competitive as the market got hotter. You had to compete with international buyers. You had to compete with the iBuyers. You had to compete with regular investors. And then you had the normal market of other buyers with $250,000 approvals. So what I did was I created a market that stayed under that $250,000 because new construction at that price was non-existent. So here the tiny homes was birthed. And the good thing about that was the market let me know that I was on the right track, because the last development that I just completed sold out before we even started construction. And also there was a waiting list of about 3,000 people trying to get on that wait list. So the market let me know that there's an appetite for tiny homes. A lot of people are downsizing. A lot of people choose tiny homes for different reasons. One, minimalistic living. Two, the way that the community is designed, and we'll see that as I go down through the PDF. It's designed to be have a park-like feel with amenities, dog parks, walking trails. It's gated, it's fenced all the way around. It's no through traffic. It's like its own private oasis in the city. So a lot of the buyers definitely love that. So here's how some of the tiny homes look. We have 3 different models: a silver plan, a gold plan, and a platinum plan. The silver plan comes in at around 520 square feet. It comes equipped with a loft. The gold plan is around 630 square feet. That comes with a 1-bedroom and a loft. And then this one, I decided to have an 800 square foot product. This one is actually a 2-bedroom. And we've gotten a lot of interest from that as well. And that one is 815 square feet. So what is a pocket community? I just kind of went over that. As you can see, there's a lot of green space. There's a lot of walking paths. It's more of a community feel. We didn't want to have that subdivision type feel. We want it to be a walkable community, even though that it's nestled in the middle of the city. So I love the fact that And I actually had to fight for this at the city council meeting because they wanted me to open up a street in the back so anybody could just ride through, and I just let them know that that was kind of defeating the purpose. We wanted to have a pocket community in the middle of the city with no through traffic. It's gated, it's private, and that kind of helps with the overall aesthetic of what we're building. Next, we'll talk about plan unit development. You can kind of see the site plan down in your bottom right. This is how the site is designed. We've got the site plan approved, so this is how it will look. Outside of maybe 1 or 2 tweaks, we're actually going to add in a rain garden as well. I had to Google what that was because I never, I never heard of a rain garden, but we will have one. Talking with my civil engineer. But a plan unit development is basically the city grant me allowance to do a development that's not in the city ordinance. So that's basically what a plan unit development is, short for PUD, PUD.
Rashad, a question came in. What is the plan development timeline in terms of the turnaround time for that process?
Well, it's different in each municipality. Good thing for us, we're already past that. So we're already approved. We're actually scheduled to break ground the middle of next month. We've already submitted our land disturbance permit, and that's the absolute last thing that we have to do. And, you know, I'm smiling ear to ear because it was a grind to get here. So now we're at the point now where we're finally about to start seeing some dirt moving. But like I said, it depends on the municipality. I got my PUD approved the first time around, and you know, I based that on just being prepared. You know, I went in there, I knew what their rebuttals would be, and you know, I actually had a dozen neighbors show up to oppose this development. But after speaking with them, you know, they're backing the project, the entire neighborhood. I've had 2 neighborhood meetings with the community. And they love what's coming, and I just had to educate them on the process. All right, so I keep going. Design, we just kind of went over the design. We designed this with simplicity in mind. It's not just a small box. Like when people say tiny homes, they think, you know, I'm 6'8", 300 pounds, and I fit in them comfortably. We're talking 19-foot ceilings, floor to ceiling height, you know, outside of the loft that looks down below. We have terraces, patios, decks. Like that's areas to go. You're not cramped in some small space. You won't even feel like it's a tiny home when you walk into the front door and you look up and it's 19-foot ceilings. You know, some 3,000 square foot houses don't even, you know, have that. So we designed this meticulously for you to have places to go and not feel cramped. Even in this, what we're looking at right now is the silver model. This is the 520 square foot plan. As you can see, it's just a living room, and you go around the corner and you go up to a loft. This is a smaller plan. It only has a loft, but you know, you're not cramped. You know, it's designed for you not to feel cramped. If you want to look at the floor plan here, I don't know if you know how to read floor plans. I can kind of guide you through it. But you got your living room, you got your bathroom, you got your kitchen area, and you got your wraparound porch on your first level. If you look to the right, you go upstairs, you have your loft. This one doesn't actually look down, and we designed it like that to have privacy and to kind of give a different look from the other 2, because the other 2 do have, well, the gold does have a loft that overlooks the bottom. As you can see right here, this is the gold plan. This one is 630 square feet. Once again, floor to ceiling height is 19 feet. You look at the picture, the second picture here, you can look over the deck below. You have your bedroom, you have your loft, and then you also have a deck off the loft, which is not pictured. There is a deck off the back of this, so that gives you extra areas to go through, you know, when you're living in this space. Once again, here's a floor plan. You got your living area, your kitchen area, your bathroom, your bedroom downstairs. And then you go upstairs, you have a loft, and you can see the terrace right here off the back. And it's all glass. The good thing about this, that people like about this model, and if you're into this type of thing, but you can kind of see straight through the house. Of course, people will put up drapes and things like that and open them when they want to and close them when they need privacy. But that's the one thing I like about this. Like the glass just make it look like futuristic. Now this is the platinum model. This is the 815 square foot model. This is actually my favorite. I'm actually going to get a unit. This is basically townhouse style. When you walk in, you got 2 bedrooms on the bottom, and then you go upstairs. You got your kitchen, you got a powder room, and you got your terrace off the back. So this is one of my favorite ones, and it also off the master bedroom on the bottom level. It also has a small patio here as well. So you got the terrace here, and then you got a small deck off the back bedroom.
Okay, I do have a couple questions that came in. What is the largest possible size for the tiny home? Is the 800 the largest size?
Yes, this is the largest size, 815 square feet. And, and the reason why I went bigger, because the last development I did, we had 3 different models, but 80% of the community was of the 630 square foot, which was the largest option. And I thought to myself, well, they want bigger. They don't want to be too small. And the only reason why I think they didn't pick an 800 square feet option is because we didn't have one. So I wanted to create that option as well, and bring it to life.
Okay, a couple more questions. It says, how much do a tiny home cost? You'll probably cover this, but that's one of the questions that just came in.
Yes. So these are different. The last one I did was a builder grade. We did have custom windows, but it was basically like all standard type stuff outside of the custom windows. This is more of a luxury micro model. We're putting finer finishes in, and this will be a little higher price point. So these are starting in the mid 200s.
Okay. Next question.
Which is still under the average median home price in Chattanooga. So that's one of my strategies as well, to keep these under the average median home price. So those people that sitting with those $250,000 and $300,000 approvals, they actually have options now to buy. But go ahead, Reneika.
Okay, yeah, questions are coming in, so this is really good. I appreciate the engagement. It says, are these for sale or rentals?
These are for sale. I do 85-15, so 85% homeowners, 15% rentals, and there will be a HOA governing all of this. And that's the reason why I do it that way in these communities, is because I feel like home ownership changed the dynamics of a neighborhood. Down the line, I will do build to rent. I'm actually down in Tampa at a real estate mastermind right now, where we're looking at 12 acres to do 100 build to rent tiny homes down here. So there will be different products to where we do build to rent, but this one will be 85% homeowners, 15% renters. And if we exceed that number, they'll have to get on the waiting list.
Okay, next question is, are you planning tours for this project? Are you looking for investors? Have you found any communities prohibitive? So,
yes, we are looking. Say that again. Well, we are looking for investors. What was that first thing you said, Reneika?
It says, are you planning tours of the projects? Like, are you going to allow people to come in and site view?
Oh, yes, for sure. Most definitely. All of my investors can definitely come on the site. I don't know if you all know, but I have over 650 videos on YouTube and counting, because I document the process. I'm big on over communication. I mean, we send out newsletters. Start next month in March, we'll start having monthly calls for the equity investors. And we'll also be sending out different little videos, different updates, just kind of keeping everybody abreast on what's going on. And on top of that, my videographer will be out there shooting content as, we develop, this project. So we are looking for investors, and they can come on site. We just ask, well, we'll structure it a way that it'll be controlled. Just give me a heads up, let me know you're coming. I'll let you know if it's a good day, and I'll walk you through the project and educate you on where we are with everything.
Okay. So it says, I saw something about only R5 zone areas can have tiny homes. Do you know the details on that? Is that only City of Atlanta, R5?
Yes, so the thing about development, each county has its own ordinances. Like they go in and meet and they pass their own ordinances. So it's not a blanket, one size fit all. That may just be in Atlanta. Some municipalities are against tiny homes. Some people are love it and they're for it. You just got to go in, and this is one of the things I do too. Um, I watch different counties, city council meetings, because since COVID, now they're streamed on YouTube. So I don't even have to go to all these different counties. I could just get on YouTube and watch a replay and see what they're if they're pro development or if they're trying to slow up development. But the R5, that may just be an Atlanta thing because they have their own ordinance.
Okay, there's so many questions, but I just want to get to a couple more and then you go through some more slides. So just bear with me. It says, how much is the usual investment? There's, what is the minimum an investor now needs to have to participate? So there's a couple questions, really like 3 or 4 questions that came in specific to investing. Is there?
Okay, no, that's great. So we have 2 classes, a Class A and a Class B investment. Class A being equity, Class B being debt. Let's start with the Class A first. Class A, on average, has a total return of 54%. That breaks down to a 10% pref and participation in the equity pool of 20%, which equates to 44%. And if you combine that with the pref, that's a total of 54%. Class B is strictly debt, and right now that's at 12%. As we take on more, as we get more contracts in, that number will go down to 12%, as well as the equity pool. If we don't fulfill it before we start selling, that'll go down as well. One of the benefits of being in the Class A, you go on the operating agreement with me and all the other equity investors. And we'll also have those monthly equity investor calls. Class B, you'll get the monthly newsletter, and the minimum for Class B is 5,000. The minimum for Class A is 50,000.
Okay, thank you. You can go through some more slides, and then I'll just kind of taper the questions in. But there's definitely questions. So.
Okay, no, that's great. We just saw the platinum floor plan. This is the layout. When you walk through the front door, you got a bedroom. Walk down the hallway a little more. You enter a hallway. You got your bathroom, and then you got another bedroom. It's kind of like roommate style. You can see the master. Got the little deck right off of that. You go upstairs. You got it's open. You got the kitchen. You got your living room, and you got the terrace. And I don't know if you can notice it right here. These will be bifold doors. So basically, you're bringing the outside in. You're kind of extending your square footage. That terrace is about 100 square feet along, so that adds extra, 100 square feet to, the other 800. Building and construction, building your team. Yes, that is me on the on the machine out there, working. This last development that I just finished, I had to fire 3 GCs, and I had to get out there and play GC without a license. But that's me on the machine right there. That's why I got this slide up here, because it's crucial of building your team. And I took the lessons I learned from the last one and I brought it into this deal. I got the top GC in Chattanooga, Modus Bill. I got one of the top architects, River Street Architects. I got the top civil engineer, March Adams. And I got one of the top attorneys who's been representing builders and developers for 25 years, and Valerie Epstein. So I want to make sure that I put together a team to where I'm not sitting on equipment. I'm more so making sure that my GC is on budget, we're hitting our timelines, and we're following up with our investors. So we have everything in place. We have a site superintendent in-house who's going to help manage the general contractor. We have project manager, and we'll be subbing out for the subcontractors.
Okay, let me interject and ask a couple questions. It says, if I heard correctly, 3,000 people are on the waiting list. So how would we be able to buy in that case? That was relating to your last project.
Development. Yes, that was for the last development. We're in a whole different state now. So, if anyone's interested in purchasing, they could. We haven't even launched our marketing campaign yet, which we will launch our marketing campaign in the next week and a half. As soon as we get our builder contract, I just met with my attorney a couple of days ago to finalize some things on the builder contract to help protect, us and, if we have any delays and things like that. So as soon as that builder's contract is finalized, we're hitting the button on our marketing, and we should have an influx of, people trying to buy. We only did a soft launch, which we released the renderings, and we already have about 20 people interested in buying without any marketing. So I think we're going to be headed in the same direction of selling out before we break ground next month.
Okay, a couple more questions. It says, do you have any development in Atlanta, and where was your first project? How many units?
Yes, so it was 29 units, and it's finished up in Atlanta. So we're done with that, and now that was 29, and this one is 42. And to kind of piggyback off that, I actually just closed on another 18 acres adjacent to this current development to do 53 single family homes. But that'll be phase 2. Right now we're focusing on this, which is phase 1. But there will be 95 houses coming on that one road, and it'll all be developed by us. So I know some of y'all are thinking, why Chattanooga? Let me scroll up a little bit. Chattanooga, Tennessee is my hometown. After completing that project, the largest micro home in Georgia, I want to come back and recreate the same vibe in my own hometown. So outside of that being where I'm from, I mean, it's some great things going on in Chattanooga. They've named us Gig City, supposed to have the fastest internet, in the country. It has population growth. There's 3 things that I look for when I go into a market: job growth, population growth, and demand. And Chattanooga has all those things. Chattanooga has a population of about 425,000. Had a 0.7 population increase in 2021, which was up from 48% in 0.48% in 2020. Job growth, 2.8% job market increase in 2021, and the future job growth over the next 10 years is predicted to be 44%. So people are moving there, jobs are there, and there is a demand because the mayor just put out an article that we're 5,000 housing units short in the city of Chattanooga. So with that being said, and us being under the $300,000 mark, I mean, we're going to have to turn people away to try to buy these homes. We haven't had any kickback on price. We've been communicating with a lot of interested parties, and price isn't the issue. People need somewhere to go, and this is a product. You can't just go down the street and get this. This is the only show in town. And the tiny home niche is there. They got a strong community, and they come in droves. And another thing about this too as well is outside of the structure. I mean, just the entire makeup of the neighborhood. It's just a different feel. It's like a breath of fresh air. I've stayed in subdivisions, and I know some of you as well have done this as well. I've stayed in subdivisions where, I don't even see my neighbors. They go in their garage, and when they leave, they come out and they leave. But this is not designed like that. This is designed to be walkable, communal, got dog parks, walking trails. You got this open green space. It's just a different feel. And, a lot of people are different these days.
I do have a couple questions. I mean, there's more than a couple, but it says, are these stick-built, prefabricated, or modular build?
These are stick built. Yes, these are stick built homes. You know, no different from probably the house that you live in. It just has a smaller footprint.
Okay, it says, how many tiny homes can you fit on per acre?
In Chattanooga, it's not tiny home specific, it's dwellings. So in Chattanooga, you can do 5 houses per acre.
Okay, it says, what is the process to invest? Is it discussed on your website?
Yes, I actually have a scan code down here. The process to invest, we have an investor portal, and I don't know how can I get that link out to everyone, or I guess you can just scan, and I'll send out this PDF. If you scan the you know, the icon at the bottom of this PDF, it'll take you right to the investor portal. And also, there's a link on the website to get to the investor portal as well.
Okay, it says, is there an option to purchase a tiny home as an investment property?
Yes. So out of the 42, 15% could be rentals. So if my math is right, we have 6 of those opportunities for you to purchase as an investment.
Okay. It says, is there any lot rent or HOA fee? Does the owner get the deed or the title like vehicle recorded in local motor vehicle bureau? So
Yes, you will get the deed. You will own the house, and there will be a HOA. The HOA will cover the grounds, the gate, the dog park, you know, keeping the trails clean. I think we got communal water as well, so that'll be a part of your HOA. You know, so yeah.
and that's one of the questions. Is this public water and sewer? I'm looking to do a similar product on some land I own, and there's now sewer in the area. I was looking for just mini plants, so that was a question about the water and sewer.
Yes, it'll be public.
Okay.
Yes.
What type of clients are you seeing interested in tiny homes? Age, family, size, etc.?
The demographics is vast. I mean, you got young people, young couples, older people downsizing, people that, you know, just singles that have animals. You know, it's vast. It's not one demographic. I mean, this community will be filled with different, you know, types, because, you know, there's no demographic for people who love tiny homes. And the fact of the matter is, it's a rarity. I mean, these aren't on every, you know, corner. So the demographics is vast.
Okay, first a comment and then some more questions. It says, love the bifold doors and terrace, beautiful work. Next question is, how long is the investment commitment for Class A and Class B?
Yes, so Class A, the investment commitment is until we complete it, and that's approximately 12 to 14 months. So my GC told me it'll take us around 12 months to build. We're about a month and a half off from breaking ground. So that puts us at the 14-month mark all in. Because as an equity investor, you know, we take the wins and losses together. I haven't lost on a project to date, but I have to say that because nothing is guaranteed. But you know, if the project does better, these numbers will be better. But the fact of the matter is, this is and I'll show you a comparison chart as well. I'll send that, and once I get through this PDF, I'll show you a comparison chart of all the other investments, how they stack up against this one. And I got all the numbers from Google, and you can, you know, follow that up as well and fact check. But yes, I hope that answered your question. So 12 to 14 months, the same for Class B. Class B is just 12 months. Class B is basically debt, which is, you know, typically just like a loan. So if you're in Class B, at your 12-month mark, you're getting paid out. You know, your principal plus, you know, that the 12% interest on top of that. But Class A, you know, we're in the fight together. That's why the numbers are better. You know, we take the risk together.
Okay, it's asking, are you still accepting Class A investors? I thought I saw on your website that that was closed.
Yes. So it was closed. I actually had an investor who was interested in investing 1.5 million. But we're pivoting to possibly do a different project. So that's why I opened Class A back up.
Okay, and we'll get through some slides, but I just wanted to piggyback on a question relating to risk, just because you touched on it in terms of nothing's guaranteed. It says, can you give us some of the risk factors that would cause a project like this to fail?
Yes, I'm glad you asked that, because the way I structure my projects is, as we go along in a deal, we take risk out. If you remember me saying earlier, as we start, pre-selling, the Class B will go from 12% to 10%. The Class A will go from 54. I don't know what that percentage will be, but it'll go down as well, because as we progress, it's a less riskier deal. So once we pre-sell all these units, the risk is basically out the deal. Now we just got to make sure we stay on budget and build these things. So that's kind of how I'm structuring everything, and that's why I elect to pre-sale, to get that part out the way. Every unit is already accounted for before we even put a structure up, and that's been working well.
Okay, question is, what is the total cost of the project for land and homes? How much Class A and Class B are you looking to raise?
Yes, the total cost of the project, let me see, I don't have my my Excel sheet up, but I'm thinking it's about 8 million to build, a little bit under 8, because I know I got a bank loan commitment for 5.2 million. We're putting down 1.75 as a down payment, so that brings us to around 7, and the total gross of the project is around 11 million, which leaves us with about 4 million left. It gives us a little bit of room to pay everyone out.
Okay, and the comment came right after that. I say, can you make that Excel available, like the financials, just so they have the breakdown of it?
Yes, I can send you the summary of that as well. I'll send that to you as well, Reneika, the summary of, the breakdown of everything. So yes, I'll send that over.
Yeah, we can get it as a PDF. Oh, you can go through some more slides. There's more questions, but I'll ask those as you go.
Okay. The advantages of investing in tiny homes: minimum maintenance, lower running expenses, profitability, cheaper utility costs, lower environmental footprint. Profitability. As people on here are interested in investing, I think this is one of the ones that you would like to hear about. Not only are we creating a product that's a need, it's also lucrative. It's also lucrative, because for what we're building these for and what we're able to sell them for without any hassle. Because I've built 1,800 square foot houses, and I've built tiny houses. And tiny houses, edge those profits out, considerably. We're looking at around 110 to 120 on each house in profit, if we stay on budget. So there's a lot of room. Not saying that we're going to make mistakes, but we're going to get through this project. It's a real lucrative deal, and that's why I love tiny homes. So cost to build. Cost to build these are around 205 a square foot. That's up from the build a great product, which was around 140, 150 a square foot. And what made it should have been around 140, but what made that jump a little bit was the custom windows. It's amazing, because the windows was the most expensive thing on the house, but that's what gave it the aesthetic. So you kind of get what you pay for. Some of the project details: it's 42 units. It's on 8.4 acres. Project timeline is 12 to 14 months. 54% total return, 10% preferred. The equity pool equates to approximately 44%, and the market is Chattanooga. The feasibility, figuring out, does this work? Yes, it does. It got a growing population, it got job growth, and there's also a housing shortage. So all of those things work to our advantage. Some of the project costs: land, hard costs and the soft costs and carrying costs. The bulk of this is hard costs. Horizontal hard costs, soft costs. That deals with the civil engineers, the architects, the general contractors, surveyors, things like that. So this is kind of the definition of what hard costs versus soft costs are. Legal fees, paying the attorneys to draft up the contracts, things like that. Hard costs is basically the tangible things that you can see: labor, machinery, interior fixtures, landscaping, and other direct costs, the physical things that you can see when we go vertical. So that's the difference between hard costs and soft costs.
Okay, I do have a couple questions. It says, what kind of HVAC system is installed and are they energy efficient? And I have another eco-friendly related question. It says, what kind of HVAC system installed? Are they energy efficient?
Yes, these are going to be mini splits. We chose to do mini splits for the sake of space. Actually, and the funny thing about it, right, because when we first designed these, the Platinum model, which is the 815 square foot model, it only had the bathroom downstairs. And after looking at that floor plan and looking at it, me and my architect got together and we said, hey, we got to do something to put a powder room upstairs because we don't want people to have to run downstairs every time they have to use the restroom. And that'll be hard for entertaining. You down there where your bedrooms are. So I want to keep everybody upstairs. So when we elected to do the mini splits, we were able to add a powder room. So that's why we decided to go with mini splits.
Okay, next question is, are there any eco-friendly additions to the house, solar roofs, batteries, etc.? It says, I've considered building a small community like that.
Yes, we will have a solar roof upgrade option. So, and we also will be doing some energy efficient things as well. I'm talking to a couple different vendors, and I know my general contractor is talking to a couple different vendors. We also have EV for Teslas and other electric vehicles. So you'll have EV spots in different parking areas. So we're taking care of everybody. We're approaching this with the current state of where everything is right now. So we'll also have EV stations.
Okay, question is, what type of home warranty the tiny house have after sale? How much are HOAs typically, like a range if you can provide?
We're actually in the process of going through all of the covenants, so I don't have that number, but I'm trying to keep the cost as low as possible because we don't want to price people out. They're already spending, mid 200s, 250 for a micro home. But to upkeep something like this, with all the green space and the dog parks and things like that, it does cost. But I'm thinking somewhere between 150 and 200. Hopefully we can get it, within that range or lower. But I'll do everything I can to try to keep it, as reasonable as possible.
Okay, it says, how do you deal with pushback from local authorities getting zoning and permit approval?
See, that's the thing. They love it. We passed through the first time. When I presented this, we didn't have not one objection from City Council. Everybody was pushing this through. They can't wait to see this come to fruition. And outside of the 12, the dozen neighbors that came to oppose, the reason they came to oppose, I don't know if y'all know the development process, but anytime there's a development coming, the city sends out letters to the neighbors, and it basically it doesn't really do the project any justice. It basically just says, hey, there's a development coming. If you want to come complain, this is the date to do it. So they showed up without any information. And after my city council meeting, I told every one of them to step outside with me. And I stayed and talked to every last one of them, let them know what we were doing, let them know that these are not going to be rentals. That's one of the main concerns. Like, they thought it was going to turn into, a rental because everybody owned their homes, and they, the same way homeowners change the dynamic of a neighborhood, the reverse is true. I mean, the flip side is true. Renters change the dynamics of a neighborhood too. So that was mostly their concern, but I let them know to be 85% homeowners, 15% investors, and they've been on board ever since. And I had two 2 other neighborhood meetings with them to kind of explain, and I took on their questions. So the neighbors they're not giving pushback. I'm not getting pushback from the city. Everybody loves this development, and they're pushing for it.
Okay, 2 questions related to our rentals. Will you allow Airbnb? Will you allow short-term rentals?
See, that's the thing. I love Airbnb. I mean, I'm on you all side, but that's a city thing. The city of Chattanooga, they're making it hard for people to Airbnb in the city. I don't think you can be next to a home that's zone R1. They're trying to push the Airbnbs out to the rural areas. You also have to get a permit to Airbnb, and they stopped taking permits. How do I know? Because I was a victim of that. I was actually one of my flips. I couldn't sell it because it's the same reason I'm doing the tiny homes. This is the example. I did a flip. The home is worth around 600,000, but there's no buyer for it because when the interest rate went up, that person with the $800,000 approval now is downsized to around 650. But instead of downsizing, they just sit on the sidelines. So I couldn't find a buyer for it. I was Airbnb-ing it out. Getting ready to Airbnb it out. I actually had $40,000 worth of furniture in transit, and they passed that permit law, and they stopped taking permits. So I had to send all my furniture back. I lost 10,000. I got a hard lesson in restock fees. I never knew that was a thing. And so yes, I would allow Airbnb, but the city of Chattanooga they're not allowing it right now.
Question is, how far is it the development from downtown, and are the homes practical for northern states? It gets cold.
Yes. So it's around 15 minutes from downtown or less. It's right in the middle of the city. I don't even think it's 15 minutes. It may be closer to 10. And what was the second part of that question, Reneika?
The second question is, are your homes practical for northern states? It gets cold up there, so meaning if you were built up north.
Yes, for sure. These are stick built, so we got to follow the code. Whatever that code is in that municipality, we got to follow it. So whether it's putting in R3 insulation or, because I know on this last one I did, the fire marshal made, because not only were the houses 10 feet apart, it was by the airport as well. And on top of that, it was next to an interstate. So we had to do some kind of decibel test to make sure that these were fully insulated. But to answer your question, yes, these are stick built, and we got to follow the code, so they are practical for up north.
Okay, it says, do you own the property as well as the home?
Yes, you do. In the last development, they were actually condos association, and that's what I'm saying. Different municipalities do different things, but in this development, you will own the dirt as well as your dwelling.
Okay. You can go through some more slides. I have more questions, but I just want to make sure we balance in as much as possible.
Yes. So let's talk about strategy and due diligence. We kind of touched on this, previously, but my strategy in all my developments, one of the things that I'm gifted with is finding deals. So if I bring a deal to the table, it's a great deal because I don't look at marginal deals. It has to be a home run. I bought this land for $160,000, and it already was entitled to do 29 single-family houses. So that land should have really, in essence, cost me around $600,000. So buying undervalued land, that's one of my strategies. Pre-selling the units, that's my other strategy. Taking all the risk out the deal, having all these units accounted for already. So now all we got to focus on is building the units, and what helps with that is I got one of the top general contractors. They've won awards in the city. They do big commercial projects, and they have a reputation to uphold. That's another reason why I hired them. I wanted to hire somebody with something to lose. I want to hire somebody who I knew wouldn't walk off the job. So, like I said, I learned my lesson from the last one. Trying to save money and things like that, but cheap becomes expensive. I learned that the hard way. So Luckily, we was able to get those guys out, and I jumped in, and we made it happen. Number 3, keep prices under 300,000, which is under the average median home sales price. So right now we're clicking on all 3 cylinders, and that's my strategy for these projects. Did you know in today's market, houses value under 300,000 have the largest buyer pool? That again is true. It's more people approved for 300,000 and less than people that approve for 301,000 and above. So we got the biggest buyer pool. We have a product that no one else has, and there's a demand for it in the city of Chattanooga, as we're 5,000 units short. Another thing as well, as far as affordability, and that goes, let me scroll back up here to strategy. As far as affordability goes, when you look at our website, you'll see that we have 3 different lenders that they can choose from, preferred lenders. And we have, some of the lenders have 100% programs, all types of incentives to help buyers get in. So not only are these prices under 300,000, I took it a step further with the lenders to make sure they're offering different incentives. I made sure I brought in people who could do the 100% portfolio loans, because this falls in the GIS track of low to moderate income. So people are eligible for that 100% no down payment just by this development being in that area. So that also helps with the strategy to sell out. There's so many incentives. I mean, you could basically get in the house with earnest money and just your inspection and appraisal. And another thing on top of that, one of my lenders with Summit Funding, they're going to pay for the buyer's appraisals. So you're literally only out of basically earnest money and your inspection fees. So these will sell out. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We've put these different strategies in place to ensure that. Due diligence, we went over feasibility, cost, keeping it under 300,000. Hydrology, we just sent out our geotech to clear some of the land to do an infiltration system. Everything came back good. We just submitted everything to the state, and as well as our land disturbance permit. And on this last picture, you can see the survey of the site.
If I can, a couple questions. It says, what type of commitment does a buyer have with a pre-sale commitment? AKA, do they have the ability to back out? Do they have to be pre-approved? How much do they have to put down to show that they're interested?
No, that's a great question. So they're on the hook day one. So we don't take earnest money. We take a non-refundable construction deposit. So once you put your contract in and you put that deposit down, it belongs to the developer. And if you back out, which some people do, it's written in the contract that they will lose their non-refundable construction deposit.
Okay, it says, what is the improved land with streets and utility costs versus house costs?
Say that again.
It says, what is the improved land with streets and utility costs versus the house costs?
Okay, so great question. I actually just got a quote from my general contractor before I came to Tampa. I think he gave me a quote for $800,000 for all the dirt work. That includes removing the trees, putting in the streets, roads, curbs, everything like that. So all the dirt work, $800,000. I mean, we're not sitting on that number because we're trying to get that number lower. That's just the number that I just got the other day. I actually try to get that down around anywhere from $500,000 to $600,000 if possible. So I'm bringing up one of my guys from Atlanta to give us a quote as well. And as far as the vertical construction, it's going to be around $6 million to build it vertically. So if you take that $6 million and that $800,000, we're at 6.8, and the total on the back end is around 11 million. So we're still looking at around 3 to 4 million spread.
Okay, another question is, if I have the land, would you partner to build a community?
I get that question all the time. You can send in what you have, and me and my team will review it. And it also depends on where you're at because, you know, just to be honest, I can't stress myself too thin. You know, we have this phase one going, we have phase two coming right after that. I'm actually in Tampa looking at, you know, this land for 100 tiny homes. Another guy approached me to do it in Iowa. So, you know, definitely send it over, operations at postprogroup.com. I'll take a look at it and we'll take it from there.
Okay, just a couple more questions. I know I appreciate everybody's patience and, obviously the questions coming in, great questions. It says, I apologize if you already answered this question. How much are the HOA fees for this property?
Yes, we're gonna try to keep them as low as possible and reasonable. I'm estimating around 150 to 200, but that's strictly just an estimate. We're actually in the process of drafting up the builder contract and the CNRs, which is the HOA covenants right now. So I have a better answer for you in about a week. But as of right now, I'm hoping to keep them as low as possible, anywhere from 150 to 200 a month.
Okay, it says, I love tiny houses, but for the price, it seems like the folks would want 2 to 3 bedrooms. I'm just curious to know who wants to pay $300K for a 1 to 2 bedroom.
Yes, I mean, we have a vast demographic. You know, I got asked this question from the fire chief in the city of Atlanta when I first went for my first pre-application meeting. So what I did was, because I was skeptical of tiny homes too. I mean, verbatim, I probably would have said the same thing. But it was a guy, I forgot his last name, but a guy named Will. He did a smaller community of 8. And I took the city council on a field trip to see what he done. And the same city inspector that was drilling me the same question that you asked, who's the buyer? You know, why would anyone want to live here? Once he went in the house, he started giving me suggestions. So you know, he was on board as soon as he went and saw it. Like, some people just need to see it. It's not just, I mean, you can't just look at the square footage. I mean, this basically micro luxury, you know. And you know, if you got a taste for it, I mean, all we need to do is get 42 yeses. But to answer your question, I mean, it's a vast demographic of people who want these things.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? I'll keep going.
Yeah, keep going. There's a couple more questions, just a few small ones.
So yeah, so we've gone viral a couple of times on TikTok. And the funny thing about that is I wasn't even on TikTok at the time. I was just on there to monitor my daughter. And I just simply shared a video that I had shared on Facebook, and I closed the app. I closed the app for like 5 days, and I kept getting all. I started seeing my Instagram followers go up, and I'm getting all these friend requests, and I'm like, man, what's going on? I'm thinking somebody shared something. So 5 days later, I logged back into TikTok. I mean, we're almost at 1 million views on the community, and I mean, it took a life of its own. And this is some of the comments that were on the post. You know, tiny homes will replace regular homes and eventually cost the same. I wish we had this in Cali or Nevada. Would love to do this in Florida. Would love to do this in Nashville. Like, the demand is there. People love what I'm doing. So, you know, these are the type of people, to answer that previous question, these are the type of people who want to live in these communities and or build them where they live, or want me to build them, you know, where they live.
Great. It says, what is the target acreage size for these communities?
There's no real target acre size. I mean, I've seen like what Will did with 8 units. He was on a less than 1 acre. The 29 that I did was on 3 acres. Now we're doing 42 on 8.4. It depends on the municipality. How many houses can you get per acre? I think that'd be the first thing you need to look at. Going to city ordinance, or, you know, if you don't want to do the research, just call in and let them tell you. But you could do it from 1 acre on up. You know, on this 8.4 acres, I made the mistake of using the information I got from Atlanta here, I thought I was going to be able to get 80 of these things. Otherwise I would have just, as I bought the property, I would have just went with the 29 entitlements. It set me back around 3 months, but we still was able to get more than 29 units. So it wasn't a waste or a wash. But in my mind, with 8 acres, I'm thinking we could have got 70 to 80 of these, but it didn't work out like that because even though they gave me a planned unit development, which is a PUD, I still had to stick to the 1 house, 5 houses per acre rule.
Okay, a question just came in. It says, can we briefly discuss the steps for potential investors, buyers to tap into their IRAs to invest and purchase? The process, if you're looking to use your self-directed IRA account, obviously get your account open with us, get your account funded. You can, again, make a annual cash contribution. You can transfer from an existing IRA, or you could do a direct rollover from an old employer plan. Once your account is open and funded, the subscription agreement that Rashad will be able to provide to your Advanta account manager to have that, filled out, title in the name of the IRA. Obviously, you'll give your actual consent before any money leaves your account. You decide if you're investing in the Class A or Class B based on your accreditation. And then, of course, once that's completed, you give your consent. Advanta sends the money over to Rashad and his team to purchase or make that investment on behalf of the IRA. So just a high-level overview. Rashad, feel free to interject any other comments you want to make.
Yeah, so to answer the questions about how to invest, one, you can always go to the website. There'll be a link on there to get you to the investor portal, or you can scan, this icon right here, and it'll take you right to the investor portal as well. Create your profile, and you can get through this investment in 4 clicks. You could take it. You could take the investment as an individual, LLC, IRA. We have it's different drop downs of how you could take the investment, and it's real simple and easy to use. Once you sign the promissory note, I'll countersign. As soon as I countersign, you'll automatically get an email with the wiring instructions. Once I receive the wire, I will click a button and I'll let you know that I received the wire. If you're an equity investor, I'll also send you an operating agreement with the LLC. The project name is Valentina Estates. The LLC is Valentina Estates LLC. So we'll all be on an operating agreement with all of the other equity investors. And, we'll make this a great project. We'll make sure we over communicate with you with newsletters. We'll have the monthly meetings. And, if you want to follow the project, I would say, definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel and get ready to, see us moving some dirt. And I talk you through, the project of what we're doing that day.
Okay, great. It says, is there a rental market for them, and what is the typical rent for a home like this?
Yes, there's definitely a rental market for it. What you can get for, rent on these, this is, like I said, it's micro luxury. So I would say, and I'm just guesstimating, I would say you can get anywhere from 1,700 up to 2,000 on these.
Okay, it says, are tiny homes insurable?
Yes. So these are not, I know it's tiny homes, but this is no different from any other house. You can get it insured, you can get a loan on it. Now, I did have discrepancies with some lenders. That's why they're not the preferred ones, because their bank or their institution had a threshold that it had to be over 550 square feet. So they could do the silver, the gold and the platinum, but they couldn't do the silver. And I thought that was going to be too convoluted. So I just picked 3 preferred lenders that can do all 3. So when buyers come in, we don't have to worry about, hey, we can do these 2, we can't do this one, so some lenders do have a threshold of square footage, but the 3 that I have, they do not.
Okay, another question is, on the site it says a minimum of 50K. Do you still have an option for a 10K? How do we connect to invest?
Yes, there is an option. That's the Class B option. So you can definitely invest the 10K in the Class B. Can everyone scan this this icon right here? Because that'll take you right to the investor portal. And Reneika, I don't know if I can send, when I send you all of this, These are the documentations. If I can send you the link so you can resend it out to everyone, because I don't know, some people may be on their phone and they can't scan it. So I definitely want everybody who's interested to be able to get to the portal. And you can go to the website. That's www.valentinaestates.com, VALENTINA estates.com. And you'll get to see everything. You get to see the site plan. I have a video of the site plan. I have the lenders on there. You know, we have previous communities. You know, it'd be good to navigate and check it out.
Okay, I just put the website in the chat, but also too, once you guys reach out to inquire to receive a copy of this, absolutely, you'll have his contact information to where you can reach out directly, you know, by call, email, or through his website. Let me see if there's any other questions. Rashad, I don't know if you have any other slides to go through. We are, you know, almost 15 minutes past, but again, I appreciate everybody's patience. It says, can you provide the name of the YouTube channel? For Advanta, you can just go to Advanta IRA. This recording is going to be up, but Rashad, if you want to provide your YouTube channel as well.
Yes, my YouTube channel is my nickname, which is Shadzilla, @Shadzilla, SHADZILLA. I got that name doing my basketball career, and you know, so it's Shadzilla. I know we're probably 15 minutes over. I'll briefly just show you this other comparison chart, how this investment stacks up against other investments. Valentina Estates, the 54%, 10% preferred. It shows you what you would make if you invest 50,000, 100,000, or 250,000, and then I compared it to stocks, index funds, bonds, if you left it in the bank, CDs, and the U.S. Treasury. All of this stuff, my works cited is on Google for all of these numbers. It's pretty accurate. And I'll also be sending this over as well. So if you can see, I mean, it's not even, I mean, Class B beats all of these other investment vehicles, let alone Class A, which trumps it. So I did want to play like a 2-minute video of the site if we have time for that.
Yes, and I just had a comment that says this was excellent. Thank you. There is an upcoming investor. Is there an upcoming investor meeting?
Yes, the first one will be in March, and I will announce it to all of the investors. We'll do that once a month, just to give updates, do Q&As. I try to get everybody in and out within 15 minutes. We'll have meeting notes. So if you can't attend the meeting, we'll email you the meeting notes, and you know, just try to keep you updated on everything that's going on. So yes, so I want to play this video. Let's see if I can blow it up. It's about 2 minutes long, and then we'll do it. You know, I'll get you all out of here.
I also had some another question that came in as well.
Can you see the video, Reneika?
I can see it. There's no audio, but I can definitely see it.
Okay.
So
you want me to keep playing the video or get the question?
Yeah, you can keep playing it, and I can ask the question if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay, so the question is, would you quickly review how to complete the profile for Class B investing through Post-Pro Capital? So would you quickly review how to complete the profile for Class B investing?
Yes, I will. Have they created a profile yet, or?
She said doing it now. So.
Yes. Yes, what we'll do, I have someone from my team reach out to you. My team is on this call as well. And team, if you're listening, if you could send that the investor portal link to Reneika so she can drop it in the chat, that'll kind of make it easier on everyone. But yes, and what was the lady's name so we can make sure we reach back out to her?
So question is, when do you anticipate closing Class A?
Class A, we have about 875,000 to raise left. So as soon as we hit that mark, we'll be done with that, and we have 500,000 to raise in Class B.
Okay, next question is, do you have any actual photo of your product, not just visual renderings of your houses, and 3 plans available?
Well, these haven't been built yet, so we don't have concept of these, but I do have pictures of the previous one as well.
Okay.
If they could give me their email, I can get it over to them, or
they can reach out to you directly as well for any additional. Feel free to reach out to Rashad and his team, via email or contact them on their website. Again, I appreciate everybody's attendance, the participation, the questions, all great. Rashad, this has been, as expected, great presentation. Again, we went over, but we want to make sure that everyone's questions got answered. So question is, please give his team my contact plan to purchase. Yes, so please, again, Advanta, because we're a neutral party, we don't, endorse any particular product. So you do have to, if you're interested, definitely feel free to reach out. Let me make myself the presenter once this visual stops, and see, you can see his website now. So again, feel free to reach out directly and just say, hey, you were on the webinar today and you have interest, so you can reach out and discuss that directly with Rashad and his team. Again, you can, and if you have questions about self-direction, obviously feel free to reach out to me. Visit advantaira.com. I'm happy to talk through that part of the process with you. If you want to know more about Rashad's current project or future projects, definitely feel free to reach out to him and his team. Again, his email is on screen, his website for the current project, and also the phone number. Again, everyone, I appreciate your participation. Thank you all so very much. Rashad, again, thank you for being our featured speaker today. Great job. Any other closing comments before we exit out?
Hey, thanks for being interested in listening to what we have going on. I'm looking forward to a successful project. Like Reneika said, my contact info, email is there. You can contact me or my team directly. And if anyone is interested in investing, reach out and I'll send you over the investor portal link. And if you have any issues, we're pretty quick with responding and helping out with that. So, look forward to speaking with you, and happy investing. See you on the other side.
Thank you, Rashad. Yeah, a lot of feedback comments saying, love this, keep up the great work, great presentation. Thank you. So again, thank you, everyone. Happy investing.